Vamos a Estados Unidos, habla el presidente Joe Biden.
Closely scrutinized our airspace, including enhancing our radar to pick up more slow-moving objects above our country, around the world. In doing so, they tracked 3 unidentified objects, one in Alaska, Canada, and over Lake Huron.
Está haciendo referencia a Biden a estos 3 objetos, a estos 3 dirigibles que fueran encontrados sobrevolando espacio aéreo norteamericano. Tras ello, el presidente conformó un equipo interinstitucional y está brindando los primeros resultados en este sentido.
We acted in consultation with the Canadian government.
Se actuó en coordinación con el gobierno de Canadá.
From Canada on Saturday. And just as critically, we acted out of an abundance of caution and an opportunity that allowed us to take down these objects safely.
Señala Biden que se intervino precisamente para derribar de manera segura estos artefactos que sobrevolaron los últimos días por espacio aéreo de Estados Unidos y de Canadá. Comunicará los avances de estas investigaciones próximamente al Congreso de la Nación.
Or that they were surveillance vehicles from any other country. The intelligence community's current assessment is that these 3 objects were most likely balloons tied to private companies, recreation or research institutions studying weather or conducting other scientific research.
Señala que pudiera que provinieran de empresas privadas e investigadoras, por ejemplo, de asuntos vinculados al clima.
Operate objects at altitudes for purposes that are not nefarious, including legitimate scientific research. I want to be clear. We don't have any evidence that there has been a sudden increase in the number of objects in the sky.
No hay evidencia de que haya una incursión mayor de este tipo de objetos en el espacio aéreo.
To increase our radars, to narrow our radars. And we have to keep adapting our approach to dealing with these challenges. That's why
tenemos que seguir enfrentando este tipo de desafíos.
For how we will deal with these unidentified objects moving forward,
cómo abordamos, cómo distinguimos esta especie de artefactos.
That necessitate action and those that do not. But make no mistake, if any object presents a threat to the safety and security of the American people, I will take it down.
Cualquier objeto que represente una amenaza para la seguridad de los Estados Unidos será derribado.
They'll remain classified so we don't give our roadmap to our enemies to try to evade our defenses. Going forward, these parameters will guide what actions we'll take while responding to unmanned and unidentified aerial objects. We're going to keep adapting them as the challenges evolve, if it evolves.
Seguiremos adaptando nuestros sistemas a estos desafíos que se nos presentan.
To make sure we're positioned to deal safely and effectively with the objects in our airspace. First, we will establish a better inventory of unmanned airborne
medidas que pasa a anunciar Biden para mejorar aún más la seguridad del espacio aéreo norteamericano.
And up to date. Second, we'll implement further measures to improve our capacity to detect unmanned objects
Implementaremos más
in our
medidas que nos
airspace.
permitan distinguir o reconocer este tipo de artefactos.
For launching and maintaining unmanned objects in the skies above the United States of America. And fourth, my Secretary of State will lead an effort to help establish common global norms in this largely
4
unregulated
medidas
space.
en última instancia, una que permita adaptar o más bien adoptar medidas que resulten homogéneas para este tipo de situaciones que puedan presentarse a nivel global.
As the events of the previous days have shown, we'll always act to protect the interest of the American people.
Siempre
and the
actuaremos para
security of
proteger los intereses de la población estadounidense.
We've developed the ability to identify, track, and study high-altitude surveillance balloons connected with the Chinese military. When one of these high-altitude surveillance balloons entered our airspace over the continental United States earlier in the month, I gave the order to shoot it down as soon as it would be safe to do so.
y la orden de derribar el primero de estos artefactos cuando fuera esta, cuando se presentara como una situación segura para hacerlo.
Instead, we tracked it closely, we analyzed its capabilities, and we learned more about how it operates.
Los hemos investigado, hemos profundizado en el conocimiento respecto a las capacidades de estos dirigibles.
We waited until it was safely over water, which would not only
Esperamos a
protect
que
civilians,
estuviera
but also enable us to
sobre
recover
aguas
substantial
territoriales para
components
tomar la
for further
decisión de derribarlo.
for further analytics. And then we shot it down,
Recién
sending
ahí
a clear message.
lo derribamos.
Clear message. The violation of our sovereignty is unacceptable.
Es inaceptable la violación a nuestra soberanía.
Now, this past Friday, we put restrictions on 6 firms that directly support the People's Republic Liberation Army, the People's Liberation Army Aerospace Program. That includes airships and balloons, denying them access to U.S. technology. We briefed our diplomatic partners and our allies around the world, and we know about China's program and where their balloons have flown.
Biden anuncia que el viernes se impusieron restricciones a 6 entidades que proporcionan componentes al programa de globos espías del ejército de la República de China.
Now, we'll also continue to engage with China, as we have throughout the past 2 weeks. As I've said since the beginning of my administration, we seek competition, not conflict with China.
Vemos competencia, pero no conflicto en la relación con China.
I make no apologies, and we will compete. And we'll responsibly manage that competition.
Vamos a competir de manera responsable, manteniendo líneas abiertas en materia de comunicación con el gobierno chino.
Diplomats will be engaging further, and I will remain in communication with President Xi.
Yo permaneceré en comunicación con el presidente Xi Jinping. Eso es lo que está anunciando ahora el presidente Biden en esta conferencia en vivo que está realizando la ciudad de Washington en Estados Unidos.
Now look, I want to thank you all. Now look, the other thing I want to point out is that we are going to keep our allies and the Congress contemporaneously informed of all we know and all we learn.
Vamos a mantener a nuestros aliados y al Congreso permanentemente informados sobre esta situación. No voy a pedir disculpas por haber derribado ese globo propiedad del gobierno chino.
There's been criticism that China compromised by your family's business relationships. Sir,
Mr. President, there was give me a break, man.
Did you overreact?
Mr. President, there's been criticism that this was an overreaction that was done because of political pressure. You can come to my office and ask the question when you have more polite people.
Mr. President, why have you chosen Poland for your trip to mark anniversary of the war? And what's your message? What?
Me consultaban por el primer aniversario de la invasión de Rusia a Ucrania en última instancia. Ya declinó responder esa consulta el presidente Biden, que ha informado a la nación, ha actualizado la situación en torno a los globos espías, intentando mantener los canales de comunicación abiertos con el gobierno de ese país, señalando que no pedirá disculpas por haber derribado el primero de los artefactos y señalando mantendrá adicionalmente informada a la población, como así también a los países aliados de Estados Unidos y al propio Congreso de la Nación. Vamos a